Good evening and welcome to Kini News. An additional aid package worth 15 billion ringgit was announced by Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin this afternoon.
Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin today unveiled a RM15 billion aid package to help people cope with the Second Movement Control Order. The aid package is known as the Perlindungan Ekonomi dan Rakyat Malaysia or PERMAI package and contains 22 initiatives.
Secara amnya, pakej bantuan PERMAI ini menambah baik inisiatif sedia ada yang masih berterusan dan juga mempercepatkan pelaksanaan inisiatif yang berkaitan. Sebanyak 22 inisiatif akan dilaksanakan di bawah PERMAI yang berteraskan kepada 3 matlamat utama, iaitu pertama, memerangi wabak COVID-19, kedua, memelihara kebajikan rakyat, dan ketiga, menyokong kelangsungan perniagaan.
Among the measures aimed at the general population include food packs worth RM100 to qualified households worth RM50 million, tax relief for donations, targeted moratorium as previously announced will continue, free 1 GB daily internet extended until end of April, PTPTN borrowers can apply for a 3-month moratorium, electricity rebates to continue until June, enhancement of ICNR EPF withdrawal with an expedited advance of RM1000, one-off RM500 for 14,000 tour buses, school buses, rental vehicles, and e-hailing vehicles drivers. Final phase of Bantuan Perkhidmatan Nasional payment of 2.38 billion ringgit for 11.1 million recipients to be expedited, with payments starting on January 21st.
Now we'll take a look at the country's latest COVID-19 situation in this segment brought to you by Blue Air.
The Health Ministry today reported 3,306 new COVID-19 cases. All but 7 of these cases were locally transmitted. To date, 161,740 COVID-19 cases have been recorded, of which 122,344 have recovered. Selangor recorded the highest number of new cases with 1,213 cases. This was followed by Sabah with 432 cases, Johor with 329, and Kuala Lumpur with 250. There are now 226 patients in the intensive care, with 96 requiring respiratory assistance. 4 new deaths were also reported today, taking the death toll from COVID-19 in the country to 605.
The annual Umno General Assembly has been postponed indefinitely due to the Movement Control Order and the emergency proclamation.
Umno has postponed its annual General Assembly, which was scheduled for January 30 due to the Movement Control Order. In a statement, Umno Secretary General Ahmad Maslan said a new date will be announced later. He added that Umno President Ahmad Zahid Hamidi had also agreed for Umno elections to be held at all levels at a suitable date in 2021. Meanwhile, Ahmad reminded party members to close ranks and focus on helping the people during these challenging times. This is the second time the Umno General Assembly 2020 has been postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was initially supposed to be held on December 6th and 7th. Umno is expected to decide on several crucial motions in this upcoming General Assembly, including one on whether to withdraw support for its ally Bersatu in the Perikatan Nasional Government. There are also motions calling for snap elections by the end of March this year and another on strengthening relations with PAS in Muafakat Nasional.
Several opposition members of parliament have urged the Perikatan Nasional government to allow all food outlets to operate according to their licenses and not be limited to closing at 8 p.m.
21 opposition MPs have called on the government to extend the operating hours for food and beverage outlets under the Second Movement Control Order. In a joint statement, which was signed by MPs from Harapan, Warisan and Pejuang, they said the venues should be allowed to operate for normal hours as customers are already banned from dining in. The MPs urged the Perikatan Nasional Government to allow all food and beverage outlets to operate according to their licenses and not be limited to 8 p.m, given the ban on dine-in and sales are restricted to takeaway, drive-through or home delivery. They said the current operating hours are burdensome for those who needed to buy food after their working hours. And allowing the outlets to operate normal hours will help to recover their businesses, boost the income of food delivery riders, and will encourage people to stay home as they can order food beyond 8 p.m. They explained that, with the 8 p.m. closing time, most dining outlets will close their kitchen at around 7:30 p.m., giving a very small window for those who are still required to work normal hours to order their food. Meanwhile, the MPs also urged the government to extend the current loan moratorium for at least another 6 months, as a way to help business owners absorb their operations cost. Among the signatories were Pulai MP Salahuddin Ayub, Kuala Selangor MP Zulkifli Ahmad, Penampang MP Ignatius Daryl Laking, Sekamput MP Hanayo, Simpang Renggam MP Mazli Malik, Kubang Pasu MP Amiruddin Hamzah, and Muar MP Syed Saddiq Syed Abdul Rahman.
Federal Territories Minister Anuar Musa has clarified the changes in standard operating procedures relating to public parks and said that he was not at odds with Defence Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob.
Federal Territories Minister Anuar Musa has explained his apparent contradiction with Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob over the Second Movement Control Order's standard operating procedure. Anwar said it was untrue that he was at odds with Ismail, who is also the Defence Minister and Cabinet Member in charge of implementing the MCO. This came after the Kuala Lumpur City Hall on January 13th ordered all public parks to be closed, only to be instructed by Anwar not to do so.
Ada juga saya baca sindiran-sindiran kata kita buat keputusan flip-flop, kata ada perbezaan apa yang dicakapkan oleh saya dengan apa tu yang disebut oleh Yang Berhormat Menteri Keselamatan, Menteri Pertahanan, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob. Sebenarnya itu adalah tidak benar. Pengumuman yang pertama dibuat oleh Yang Berhormat Perdana Menteri, kemudian dia diperincikan oleh Yang Berhormat Menteri Pertahanan, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri. Itulah yang muktamad, itulah yang sahih. Cuma selepas itu, apabila ada kes-kes rayuan, pandangan dalam kes taman ini termasuk daripada wakil rakyat, pembangkang di wilayah persekutuan. Jadi kita kena dengar rayuan rakyat. Kita kena dengar, bukan bila kita umum satu benda itu perfect.
Anwar added that the proposal was discussed at the National Security Council meeting, which agreed to allow parks to be open under tight SOPs.
Ada yang kata ini adalah flip-flop. Flip-flop ke arah kebaikan, it's okay. Jangan flip-flop yang menimbulkan kekeliruan.
And that's all for this evening. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook to get the latest news updates there as well. Don't forget your mask if you're going out, and if you can, just stay at home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.